Hello, everybody. It's great to be here one more time today. My name is Gary Fowler. I'm the CEO, President, and Founder of GSD, Get You Done Venture Studios, a premier AI and quantum venture studio located in the heart of Silicon Valley. I'm a 17-time serial entrepreneur with several unicorns under the belt. I was on the original management team at Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion, and also Eva.ai, an AI tech company that I co-founded with Dr. David Yang. We believe at GSD that intellectual capacity is evenly spread around the world, but opportunities are not. Today, I have an incredible guest all the way from Athens, Greece, Eleftherios Karabatsakis, who's a serial entrepreneur. He's a founder of a great company and belongs into changing the world with charging. He is here from Athens, and I'd like to bring him right on board today. Hi, Eleftherios. So tell us a little bit about it. How is it building a company in Greece? Because, I talked to some of the Greek startups, and it can be a little bit challenging. But how did you get started on the journey?
Yeah, Gary, thank you very much for the invitation. It's very nice being here. I'm really excited. To be very honest, with all these tools that are currently available today and the online meetings that got into the space after the COVID period, it is much easier than before. And I do feel that we don't lose anything in terms of connections or anything. The stuff we're doing is being done remotely, online. In terms of talents, of course, there's a gap, and right now we're trying to mitigate this gap by budgeting much more money in terms of compensation and trying to hire people, talented people across the globe.
So you've been a startupper since 2015. When was the moment you knew that entrepreneurship was calling you?
Yeah, so to be very honest, I started as an early employee in the startup ecosystem 10 years ago. It was a very, very nice experience for my life. And in 2020, I decided to be a hands-on entrepreneur and start my own company. So it was a very interesting experience, since the COVID period was a time of reinvention, and so I wanted to reinvent myself. I wanted to become something else, and I found myself in another direction, building something into the mobility space, in the energy space, that was later acquired by a large energy group. And yeah, right now we are building a cybersecurity solution again in the mobility industry.
So you've looked at it, you've grown from founder to advisor and investor. How's your perspective changed across these roles?
Well, to be very honest, when I started, I really wanted to connect with people that can understand how it feels to follow my vision and my passion about that. And when I made my own money after the exit, I want to, give back all this know-how, all this knowledge, all these skills, and of course money to the startup ecosystem, not only in Greece but across Europe. So it is a different path, but again, you still learn new things. You still learn behaviors and tools that can get you in another, let's say, level of growth.
So you look at it. Let's talk about Plug Secure. What inspired you to launch the cybersecurity startup for EV chargers?
Yeah, so what most people know about us is that, yeah, we made an exit with cards, and it was very exciting for us. And the mobile app that was acquired by a large corporation found its position. But what people don't know is that we had a cyber attack during our journey, and
Really? That's interesting. What happened?
we suffered actually from a massive cyber attack during our first year of operation, when somebody tried to get 5.5 million dollars from our customers, and finally succeeded to get something around 860K from our customers' payment methods, which was a nightmare for us. Uh, of course, we refunded all the money. We tried to build again our relationship with our customers, with our partners, and you know cover the gap that was created and the bad reputation. But since that day, I found out that cybersecurity is a thing in the mobility space. And when we got acquired, and I saw how the hardware works actually in the back end, me and my co-founder decided to dive deeper into this segment and look into the protocols, the communications, and the gaps and vulnerabilities that these devices actually have. So we built PlugSecure, a cybersecurity solution, a cybersecurity platform that protects charge point operators from malicious activities, from fraud, and of course. It helps in terms of compliance and regulations that are currently upcoming.
So if you look at it, you've mentioned the silent threat and e-mobility. What vulnerabilities are most often overlooked in EV infrastructure?
Yeah, so it is interesting to mention that all these charging stations out there are not just power outlets. They're computers connected to the internet, exchanging data and being vulnerable and open, available to any kind of attack because of the protocol that goes through the connection and the communication. And that being said, it is very easy to hijack a session, falsify billing, and even bring down a group of chargers. Imagine that we're talking about critical infrastructure, and you can disable the whole availability of a large network into a country. And this is all about energy security right now, because it touches the grid, and yeah, it is something really urgent.
So how does your platform really prevent the cyber attacks differently from tradition? I mean, how are people doing it today, or what are they doing? Because I know this is the first time I've heard of cyber attacks with the EVs charging, but it makes sense to me. What do they do? I mean, what are they trying? What do they do? Disrupt the ability to charge, or put too much, voltage into a car? What are they? What kind of things are they trying to accomplish?
In terms of hacking, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, so they're stealing some tokens like IDs of the users, and trying to charge other vehicles in other locations, in other
really.
charge point networks for free. So we're talking about revenue loss.
Who are these
Uh,
people that are doing it?
yeah,
Eleftherios,
so
who are they?
it,
Are they freaking criminals from some country? Are
uh,
they kids
uh,
playing around or
uh,
what?
I don't really know. There are some groups, closed groups, as far as I know, that touch this point and are trying to create this revenue loss to the charge point operators, and of course play like a Christmas tree with the availability of the plugs, the infrastructure, to see how it is to get some logs, some errors, and some data from the charger.
It's amazing to me because do you think most people realize that this is a problem?
No, and this is a huge challenge we have right now. We have to educate people. We have to educate the companies that are currently into this business, that cybersecurity is not just a dream or something that people talk about in conferences and exhibitions, but it's something real. It's happening out there, and it is better to invest some money into cybersecurity solution right now instead of losing credibility and trust of your customers, of your partners and suppliers, and of course having some penalties of the regulatory authorities.
Can you share a moment from your live hacking demo or product testing that was a real wake-up call? What was a real wake-up call? So, you live hacking, what's like an aha moment?
Yeah. So it is nice to mention that our selling point is a risk assessment we do in the very beginning of our relationship with our potential clients. So what we do is to say, you know what, let's do a risk assessment and see what are the vulnerabilities of your network or the gaps, and then we talk about our cooperation. So because we wanted to make sure that this could be a serious business, we got the validation since the very beginning of our starting, because we are second-time founders and we wanted the validation in the very beginning. So when we had our first penetration test with our with the one of the first clients, it was very surprising when we got admin access to their system, and found out that everything was open, and a smart guy, just a smart guy, could get into the system
Wow.
using AI tools or some other machine learning coding.
And you scaled the cards to 45,000 plus EV drivers and over 500,000 charge points before acquisition. How big was the acquisition, by the way?
Yeah, so it was a strategic investment from the group to make sure that the e-mobility product of the charge point operating department will be huge in the countries that they wanted to penetrate. So we built from scratch the whole mobile application and services, e-mobility services for them, and to expand the cards operations into the countries we wanted to grow and of course penetrate. So when we got into a deal with them, it was a win-win agreement that took us to the next step, to the next level of our expansion, and of course made things easier. It was not cheap enough to get to 45,000 users, and this is a lesson I got from my first startup, because all we needed in the beginning was to quick expansion, quick growth, and make the numbers run very 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 quickly. So right now we focus on execution, we focus on research. Of course, it's another domain. We're talking about cybersecurity, but again, we want a different, let's say, delivery path in the product that we built. And of course, it's a B2B right now instead of B2C that was before.
So what happened? Did PPC acquire cards then, or what happened? Was it acquired, or was this as a strategic?
It was a whole acquisition of the team, the product, the company. Yeah, it was 100% acquisition.
So, what advice would you give founders preparing for acquisition after you've gone through that? What was the thing that you could say, it's an aha moment? This is the thing I learned about being acquired. What would that be?
Yeah, always have a plan B, C, D.
Uh-huh.
that, that's number one, because there were many moments when me and my co-founder told to each other, "Is this really happening, or are we broke? Are we going to shut down the business because nobody responds easily and fast enough? So yeah, it took us a lot of months to get into the deal and have the acquisition. Another lesson I got is negotiate every single dollar, every single penny of the whole deal. Nobody cares about how much you will get in the end of the day, and you have to make sure that at least you get what you deserve. At least you get what you really want from this side, from this point of view. And a third lesson that I got, since we were a small startup that entered a large enterprise, uh, you have to adapt to a new, let's say, environment, and make sure that you can work with people and processes that were never done before during the startup nice, fancy, trendy environment.
So how was it after you were the decision maker, having to listen to somebody telling you what to do? How was that?
In the beginning, it was very difficult because we both had to adapt and make sure that we speak the same language. So it took us around something less than a year to align and be on the same page. I mean, and later on, yeah, step by step, we found our path and tried to deliver things into the market, which
Hmm.
was also interesting, because after that, you know, in the when you're a startup, you just take the decision in the morning, build the feature, and deploy it in a few hours or days.
Hmm.
And when you're in a whole group, you have to get permission and
How
waiting
was that?
for
How was
the
that,
maintenance.
Eleftherios? How was it trying to get permission after you made the
It was
decision?
painful. It was painful for me. Yeah, it was painful, and in you know, sometimes, some days, it took me to rethink, reconsider if I belong there or not. And you know, this is this is why I'm here today. This is why I tried to get into the business and be a second time founder again.
What were the critical partnerships that helped you scale Carge, and how did you land them? How did you go about getting the partnerships that really helped you scale your business?
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, we started the company during the lockdown, the first lockdown. So it was very easy for us to get in touch with charge point operators online without spending money for, airplane or hotels and, transportation and all that stuff, and build credibility between our potential partners. And the magic moment came when we entered Italy. So the Italian market, in terms of EV chargers and battery electric vehicles on the street, is way larger than the other countries that we penetrated. And when we entered the country and we found out how useful our product was, because imagine you had to download 10, 11, 12 applications to your smartphone and switch from map to map and subscribe and add money to your wallet. So when we entered and found out, explored how useful the product was in this space, it was a very nice moment. I still remember some days to see thousands new users
Mhm.
coming into the platform and starting using the whole product and charging out there. So yeah, the critical partnerships were with the Italian operators. In the beginning, as far as I remember, we offered a, let's say, free trial period to the operator. So we requested the no margin period.
Hmm.
They gave us the exact price they were selling to their mobile application, the exact price we got into our product with no margin. So we spent a lot of money from our from the capital invested in the company. We spent a lot of money in there to make sure that one, we increase the volume and we are useful for the charge point operators to be partners, and B, to bring important and active users that will pay for charging sessions instead of losing money, throwing money away uh, for marketing and customer acquisition.
So, what's the benefit that, when you look at it, what benefits did you have? Was it because you could charge different cars, or how did you sell it? What made it so exciting?
Imagine if you are an EV driver, you have to be a subscriber in multiple applications and add money to the wallets, the digital wallets, and uh, try to find the nearest station at the cheapest price and change from different application to another one, to another one, to another one, so that you will find the nearest and cheapest station. Apart from that, the most important thing is the availability and uptime. So some applications were not fast enough to update the availability of their own chargers. So what we were best at, we set a flat rate for different types of chargers, no matter the color, the company, or the brand. And it was very easy for the user to select the type of charger and see what are the options, available options, get the availability, and even reserve the spot for 1 hour or so to make sure that the spot and the plug will be there to charge their vehicle. And yeah, that was the magic moment, let's say, for the users that really wanted to use our platform. And of course, we were not, you know, we didn't have higher prices than the actual operators service. So we got let's say a bulk amount of some charging units on a monthly basis, and of course reselling it with with our margin, with our cap,
Mhm.
so that it will be the same price.
So, what's happened in the ecosystem in Greece? How is it right now? Because I know a few years ago when I was there, it was just getting started. How is it right now?
Yeah, in terms of numbers, everything has changed. Uh, when we started, I was trying to find an electric vehicle in the street and make sure that what we build is important. Right now, after a few incentives by the government, we have a significant increase of pure battery electric vehicles out there. We're talking about more than 20,000, yeah, something like that, registered vehicles. Of course, it's not that huge. If you get the whole amount of registered vehicles in the country, but again, there is a huge benefit for all these buyers that want to get a new vehicle right now to invest their money, to spend their money into an electric vehicle instead of an internal combustion engine car. That being said, there is also a large scale of the infrastructure, because this goes in parallel. If you have chargers, you will have vehicles out there. If there are vehicles on the street, you must increase the EV charging infrastructure. So it is very critical for the operators to install high power chargers out there, and thankfully and fortunately right now we have a large coverage in Greece, and there are spots that are fast charging in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. You are ready to continue your trip.
So you're a father now and you like to cycle, you're a founder. How do you balance your family life with a high pressure startup life?
Well, there's no work-life balance and all of that stuff. It's all in our own mind and how we try and prioritize our tasks accordingly. I have the privilege to work near my house, and the first thing I made is to shorten the time I spent in the moving from one spot to another, so that I will mitigate the time gaps and spend more minutes with my kids, with my family, or at work at the office, so that I make sure that I buy back my time, as Dan Martel says. And the second thing is that you need some breaks sometimes. And as an entrepreneur, you have again the privilege to own your own breaks, and make sure that you have the quality of time and moments to load your batteries, like the EVs. So yeah, I would say that there are moments when I'm really focusing on work. I don't go outside. I do nothing, and there are moments that I do cycle a lot. I go out with my family, with my kids, and I really get another type of energy, another type of feelings, so that I can make it. I can be productive in my own business.
So, closing thoughts, and how do people get a hold of you?
Well, from my point of view, I have to say that we are living in a moment where things are changing every single minute or so. When I started the second company, I found out that AI tools and other platforms can help you build your product in a few weeks, instead
Hmm.
of months of hiring talents and waiting for the product to be delivered. Of course, the whole code behind must be reviewed by experts and people who can do the hard stuff. But again, I'm impressed of how a person with no experience can build something um, um, important right now and useful for the market and the world. Number two, I have to say that if you are a smart guy, you can have vibe coding and do stuff with the same, let's say, result and quality that you could get from some people, from some teams that could deliver the product within 2x or 3x time. Uh, Also, there is capital supply right now, not only in Greece, not only in Europe, but also in the United States and in the Middle East. We are living in some very nice moments in terms of investments and strategic partnerships that can help entrepreneurs build their business and expand further. And from the market that I'm working at, all I can say is that cybersecurity is not just a trendy keyword or a hashtag that charge point operators must use in their communication, but is critical to deep dive and it's a trust problem. It's not a technical problem, and trust is what we are here to build. As our cities electrify, as grids decentralize, and as mobility gets smarter and smarter, our role is to make sure that it also gets safer and secure.
Now, I agree. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you? LinkedIn, email?
LinkedIn, this is the best channel I use, and I'm very responsive in that, and of course, email. Yeah.
No, it's great to see you. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule. We appreciate it. And thanks to you, all of you, for joining one more time. GSD presents, Get You Done Venture Studio presents Silicon Valley AI and Tech, and more importantly, top global startups. My name is Gary Fowler, and I'm your host. Stay happy, stay safe, and stay healthy. We'll be back to you again soon with another exciting edition. Thanks, Eleftherios. We appreciate it.